What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Paradise here on KBVR Corvallis. What you were just listening to was the music from the new game Horizon Zero Dawn. Today with me, though, as much as I would love to rant about that game, because trust me, I could rant about it for a while.
I think we all could.
Yeah, I really could. Again, my guest that is really just becoming a co-host at this point. Nick, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Griffin?
You know, I'm all right. It's been a good day. Had like 2 classes and then just kind of have been messing around the rest of the day.
Hanging around here.
Editing stuff for Split Screen.
Good stuff. Good
Nothing.
stuff.
Actually, I guess we did announce this. I'm working on the Sarah Plays.
Oh yeah. The one time I missed out, we did Sarah Plays.
Yeah,
and
well, I don't know if we're doing one this weekend.
I know, and I'm really bummed about it
I'm
because
trying to get them to just do it.
I wanted to be a part of that so
Hey,
badly.
you will be next term.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to start rolling out till next term.
Oh, really?
Because we only have the one.
That's true. This is all behind the scenes,
Yeah,
split screen.
Behind the screen.
Behind the screen.
We should do a Split Screen.
We should.
A Split Screen radio show called Behind the Screen.
You heard it here first, folks.
I'm writing this in my notes.
Yeah, do. Anyway, hi, everyone. I'm Nick Miller. I also am known as DJ Mantooth. I host Second Verse No Worse every Wednesday from 3 to 4. Check it out if you wish. Yeah, and I am host of The Challenger every Monday at 6 o'clock. Good stuff.
Great show.
Great program.
Alex beat me.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, we got to bring up that idea to Quinn, though, because that's actually a pretty good one.
We should.
We're not here to talk about that, about possible radio shows today, though. Like I said, though, Horizon Zero Dawn came out on Tuesday, which kind of helped spark this topic idea. One of my favorite things personally about video games is the story that they tell. I think a good video game is not just measured on the gameplay aspects or the beauty of the world. I think a big part of it is the story. And I'm going to even go so far as to say we're not just going to talk about video games today. We're going to talk about movies, books, television, comics, because I can't talk about comics.
I can talk very little about comics, but
Okay,
I'll do my darndest.
Basically, what the topic is today, Nick, is stories that we remember. What are some stories that have influenced us, whether it's books, movies, games, so on and so forth. So you got any off the top of your head?
Stories that influenced me. The big one is Bioshock. The first
1, 2?
The first one.
1.
I purchased that game with no knowledge of it. I just saw the cover art and thought, that looks cool. It's like a scuba diver type guy with a drill. And then I thought, and then I started playing it, and I was just blown away by how vague everything was and how there's this whole history that you uncover with the voice recordings. And I had never seen that done in a video game before. I'd never seen that as a storytelling device in a game. So, well, at least not to that extent, where basically the entire story plays out in the past, and you're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you're trying to piece the pieces back together.
Exactly. And so, like, that really blew me away. And then the ending, which, I mean, it's been out for 10 years, so I'm going to spoil it.
Since we're talking primarily about stories, I'm going to go so far as to say
all spoilers
are okay.
Okay.
I don't normally do this because I hate spoilers. All spoilers are okay.
So, spoiler alert, if you haven't played Bioshock, at the end, when it turns out that Atlas, the guy, the cheery Irish, Scottish fella who's been helping you along is actually Frank Fontaine, who is a industry mogul trying to take over Rapture, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
He uses you as a pawn in his crooked game of taking over, and then you realize he has nothing left to take over.
Like in his quest for conquest, he destroyed everything.
He destroyed what he was trying to take, and that just that really stuck with me and amazed me.
No, I really loved the original Bioshock. I haven't played it to the end.
Really?
Wow. Okay, so I didn't play it when it first came out. I've only actually played it on PS4.
Oh, okay.
But it's extremely obvious that this is related to the writings of Ayn Rand.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, literally Atlas Shrugged is this.
There's a character named Atlas.
Yeah, and if you look at the statues of the guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually the cover art of Atlas Shrugged.
They very much draw from that world.
And I think it made a good game.
Yeah.
Like it made into a good world.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where if it's not a direct adaptation, obviously, but
Right.
it's a spiritual kind of sideline, I guess, side story, if you will, of like, well, what if, we took that idea and kind of applied it to this and made it fun.
Yeah. So, but for me, as far as stories go, like there's definitely a few that really like have influenced me.
Right.
For me, it's a lot of movies and books and stuff.
Right.
One especially, I'm going to start with book. Is the Kingdom Keepers series by Ridley Pearson. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I've never read them.
Okay, so I'll just give the rundown for the listeners. Basically, what Kingdom Keepers is, and trust me, it's a very long series at this point. It's written by a guy named Ridley Pearson, who's awesome. I've met him. He's an amazing human being. I love him. What it is, it's a bunch of teenagers who have been cast as these hologram tour guides of the Disney parks in Florida. So they go through it, but it turns out like there's a catch, and at night when they fall asleep, they become the holograms and start like fighting people and stuff. And there's a whole dark side to it.
Oh.
But at the end of it, it's very much about trying to keep that hope alive as you grow up.
Right.
It's very much like the whole idea is that the evil people are trying to get teenagers and stuff that are like moving away from Disney and kiddie stuff, are getting them saying, wouldn't you like a darker place? And then they recruit them into their fold and create an army and stuff.
Right.
Like it's very much a take over, like create an army and take over the world and fight that army story.
Yeah.
But it does it in a way where it takes the Disney magic and morphs it
Into
for a new audience.
Right. Right.
It's a really cool one.
Cool. Yeah, it's tough. Disney's a tricky thing because you associate it so strongly with this peppy, fun-loving, happy ending all the time, every time, no matter what, kind of storyline. And to hear that there's something that's not quite so peppy and happy is kind of nice.
Well, my favorite thing about this is because Ridley Pearson has a partnership with Disney for all of this.
Oh, okay.
They let him go anywhere in the parks.
Really?
Yeah, because it's all research. It's all research.
Research.
And he's also a huge Disney fan.
Right. Right.
No, but he literally can go anywhere in the parks and just write.
Cool.
It's really cool. As far as other mediums go, what you got? Any other stories?
Yeah, movies. A lot of them. I don't know where to begin. I guess
Rocky.
I'll start with Rocky. I'll start with Almost Famous, which is my favorite movie of all time.
That's a good one.
It's a story. It's basically me. Is not not to sound corny, but that
Well, no, they're like some of the best.
Yeah.
Some of the best movies are where you can relate yourself to the character.
Exactly. And the main character, William Miller, no relation. I saw so much of myself in that character. It was unbelievable. Like, he's kind of a shy, quiet guy, kind of dorky, doesn't talk much, but he really cares about what he cares about. And, he goes on this like odyssey with this rock band trying to like get interviews with him. And he kind of learns about like, what happens when you meet your heroes essentially. And, he becomes a man. He grows up and,
Have you just kind of quick aside? Have you ever gotten to meet like an idol or a hero of some kind?
I have before. I've met a couple actually. I met one of them was Tommy Stinson, the bassist for the Replacements. But to be fair, he was inebriated when I met him. So
that sounds about right for just about any band meeting people.
Yeah, especially for the Replacements. If you know anything about the Replacements, you know that that's a big part of their identity. So, and like the other time I met, it was like one of those super awkward meet and greet things. And I regretted it so much.
Who was it?
It was this band called The Hold Steady.
Yeah, I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, they're a great rock band from Minneapolis, and it was like a live lounge acoustic set thing that I got a ticket to, And
That's kind of cool.
but there's a funny story with that actually, is because, you know, at the end you take a picture, everyone takes a picture with him. And I was taller than the drummer and I was standing in front of him and he just looks up at me and says, "Take a knee, bro." And so I took a knee and he put his hands on my shoulders and we took the picture. And there's somewhere on Facebook, there's a picture of me like crouching and the drummer's just like smiling all pretty. And I just was like, oh, I blew it in front of one of my favorite bands. I look like such a geek. And, you know, so, I mean, I don't know if I've ever had a particularly terrible experience, but it's definitely one of those things of like, oh, they are just people, you know, they're just, you know, no matter how high of a pedestal you put them on, when you meet them, that's when it hits of like, oh, they're just people who make great art.
Yeah,
you know?
For me, one of those people was Ridley Pearson, like I talked about. Yeah. And like I got to meet him at a Disney park in this obscure little coffee shop in Hollywood Studios. I say that for the people that know it. Basically what with Hollywood Studios is you have all of the rides and stuff, but you have a bunch of like restaurants and little places too.
Right.
The place we were at, I forget the name of it. It's like Backstage Coffee or something like that. Right. It's obscure. It's literally this little corner, and if you're not there to see an author, you probably don't go in there.
Really?
I would actually like. I love that little coffee shop though, because you can go in and you just watch all the people walk by going to the rides and stuff. When I got to meet him, we got to the park at opening, and since it's a Disney park, there's a ton of people there. We get in line finally. It takes about an hour or two to get through the line, which is expected. Right. We were some of the last people actually.
Oh, okay.
And when we got up to meet him, I still have a picture of him actually here on my phone.
Oh, cool.
It's him, me, and my little brother.
Right on.
It was around the time when his book came out. It was the whole book signing deal.
Right.
But one of the things he told me was, again, it was never lose the hope of following your dreams. Like, it's such a cheesy thing to say.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
but it's so like it's just so ingrained in me at this point.
Right.
But the other person I've gotten to meet, actually also another author, is Brian Michael Bendis. Do you know that name?
No.
Okay. Probably makes sense because of the comment you made earlier about comics. He's a comic book writer.
Okay. Right.
He wrote the New Avengers comic line series, one of my favorites. He wrote the Ultimate Spider-Man series, which is my favorite comics book series of all time. Right. So like this guy,
he knows what he's doing. Yeah.
He definitely knows what he's doing. Actually, he teaches a course in comic book writing.
No kidding.
Down at University of Oregon.
Oh, that's so rad.
So I mean, he's at the wrong college.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll forgive him.
I would like go down there and take that class.
What's his name again?
Brian Michael Bendis.
Brian, you're forgiven.
No, I can't say mean things about Brian Michael Bendis because he's also like he's a really nice dude.
Right.
But like you hear these stories about like don't meet your heroes and stuff like that. I was like, no, don't regret for a second meeting these guys.
Right. It's weird. I mean I have regrets about the events that led up to the meeting. You know, I wish I could have met certain heroes of mine in a different context. You know, like just that. On the street or, you know, I think that's when it's the most pure, when you see them at their most pure, if you're just like, I don't know, in a record store or a game store or some kind of situation like that, where it's just like, hey man. And I try not to like say much. I just kind of like, I met this singer from a band I like and he was super nice. And he was reading a book and I just went up to him and said, hey man, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just want to say, hey, I really love your band. Thanks for doing what you do. And I just walked away and, you know, he was like, oh, thanks dude. You know, it was a very, very like simple, straightforward exchange. And I think that's my ideal for meeting those people. It's just like saying, hey, I dig your stuff. Thank you. Walk away.
Yeah.
You know?
The one person that I do really want to meet and I've been trying for so long to meet him is Greg Miller.
Yeah.
I talk to you about him all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. No, kind of funny. Kind of funny videos, youtube.com/kindoffunny. I'm not plugging them. I am plugging them, but I'm not promoting them. Basically,
you just really love them.
Yeah. Greg Miller really is my hero, though.
Right.
Like, just what he's done and what he's done for me personally. Like, when I've gone through plenty of rough times since listening to him, and for some reason, always just listening to his podcasts, to him and the rest of the Kind of Funny crew. It's always just made me feel better. It's always been kind of a constant for me. Like, every week I look forward to Friday coming along when the podcast comes out, so I can just sit for 2 hours and listen.
Right.
And that's what I will do. I used to listen to them in a car while I was driving.
Yeah.
Now I just sit and listen to them.
Cool.
But yeah, so I've been trying to get to meet them. I've tried going to Kind of Funny Live, tried to go to PAX. It's never worked out, unfortunately. Though.
Right.
Hopefully this coming PAX Prime though, or
right.
PAX West.
Oh, PAX. That's a dream of mine.
Yeah, it is for me too.
You know,
especially wanting to be a game dev. PAX is the place to go.
Oh yeah.
I want to meet a bunch of indie developers and stuff. And get
E3
tips.
has the prestige. It's the big one.
It's the big one.
But PAX is cool.
PAX is the one that has the character.
Yeah, PAX.
It's the one where it's more passionate fans.
Oh yeah, PAX is like the cool older brother of E3. You know.
I'd say the cool twin.
Okay, the cool twin. Yeah.
No, I was giving a speech in my Com 111 class the other day. I was giving it on why video games should be considered art, and I was refuting arguments people have against them. One of them was that video games cause antisocial behavior, and
That is.
immediately I laughed when I read this.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, one of the points that they give is that video games contribute to antisocial behavior, and then I threw up a picture on the screen of PAX.
Right.
This is PAX Prime.
Yeah.
Hundreds upon hundreds of people come to Seattle purely to celebrate video games.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't get much cooler than that.
No, I mean, there are a lot of negative connotations that come along with video games. It's just one of those things that's just going to slowly go away, probably. I mean, and the whole antisocial, it only promotes antisocial behavior if you let it.
Right.
It's like when I used to like have a lot of like, I don't know what's the proper word. I used to.
I can't read your mind.
Get caught in my head a lot. And I'd get.
Yeah, I know. Daydream.
Yeah.
Daydream,
and these
Space Off.
Yeah, sometimes these daydreams would be good and sometimes they'd be really bad, and I'd think about really terrible things and I get really disturbed by that.
Yeah, I do that too.
And my dad would always tell me they can only get to you if you let them.
That's a good one to live by.
And so I've kind of tried to get myself out of it. And it's the same situation. Something's only bad if you let it be bad.
Right.
Or if you make it bad.
Making it bad. Let's jump back into the stories.
Sorry, that was a total. I mean,
it went well.
Yeah.
We're good at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, stories that are memorable.
Stories that are memorable.
I think I got to go back to Brian Michael Bendis again with one of the comic books he wrote. It was Marvel's Civil War comic book. This comic was amazing.
Right.
It was all about whether or not superheroes should have to have their identity to the world. How they should be held accountable, yes, but should they be held accountable by the government? Should they be held accountable by the people? Like, where is that line? And the thing about it, and this is actually why I had problems with the Civil War movie, because I had a few major problems with that movie. I loved it, don't get me wrong, but there were problems. The wonderful thing about the comic book is how political it got.
Right.
Because it was down to the line, like, the president is talking to Congress about these things.
Right.
There's the actual votes happening. There's, okay, we need you guys to side with here so that we can get a good look here. There's Spider-Man unmasking himself at a political debate to show everybody that, like, this is one of the most well-guarded secret identities somehow.
I don't know.
So like that one's really stuck with me. And I haven't even gotten to video game stories that have stuck with me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally drawing a blank, of course, now. I'm trying to a good story.
I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn has a great story, but I'm not done with it.
I don't know anything about that. So
Yeah, that is something I'm not going to spoil because it came out Tuesday.
it's been out for like less than a week.
I played about 12 hours.
Oh my goodness, Griffin, sleep. You need sleep.
Sleep is for the dead.
I mean,
You can't argue with that
I
point.
can't, and that's the worst part. But it's not a good argument. That doesn't just because you can't argue with it doesn't mean it's a good one.
That's wrong.
Yeah, I guess a good story that really stuck with me, kind of inadvertently, is the story of Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was going through girl troubles at the time. I mean, who isn't? And,
Like, there's always girl troubles,
Oh,
even
wait.
if you're not in a relationship.
yeah, some kind of something, yeah. I was going through girl troubles, and I read Scott Pilgrim, and I kind of read how, something I got out of it was that Scott Pilgrim's kind of a jerk.
Well, yeah.
I mean, and then I kind of went like, well, hey, my behavior is kind of similar to how he's. Oh no, it was kind of one of the.
Like him.
Yeah, it's like kind of one of those like, like you have that moment of like, oh my God, I'm becoming my dad. It's like, it's more like, oh my God, I'm Scott Pilgrim. And so I kind of was like, okay, well, how can I change that? And kind of Scott Pilgrim gave me a template of how not to act in relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Something
wow.
I'm still learning to this day.
Opposite one where like, I'm not going to follow him, but I'm going to try to be the opposite.
Exactly. I'm going to be everything he wasn't. I mean, I'm still trying to get there, but I'm working on it.
I think one story that sticks with me, and it's in a good way actually, is Uncharted. The Uncharted series as a whole.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, I always related with Nathan Drake.
Really?
In a way.
Okay.
I think part of it is just how much I love history. Mm-hmm. That stuff has always fascinated me.
Right.
But like for Halloween, I've created like you remember
yeah.
I put together a cruddy Nathan Drake costume.
I thought it looked like Nathan Drake.
I mean, I was close. I had the wrong color shirt.
I was convinced, but
Like I was actually really upset about that because I got the right colored shirt, but they sent the wrong size.
oh no,
Like it would have been perfect.
That's stupid.
No, but like Nathan Drake has always been an inspiration for me to be better than who I am.
Right.
Like the saying "Sic parvis magna," greatness from small beginnings.
Right.
That's something that's really stuck with me that I've been kind of trying to follow. Like whenever I'm struggling with school or something, I remember that like this is where I'm starting, or I've already started this. I'm building myself up. I can do this kind of deal.
Right.
And I mean, it goes further. Like it's been helping me with like life in general. It's just like being healthier. Like I've started this. I'm going to finish it kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like we didn't get to have senior quotes.
Oh really?
In my senior yearbook.
Yeah. Us neither. I don't.
But
think.
I mean, my plan was the quote at the beginning of the first Uncharted. There must be a beginning of any great matter, but the continuing unto the end until it be thoroughly finished yields the true glory. Sir Francis Drake. Totally just had that prepared.
You were ready to go. I am impressed.
That's the background on my Twitter.
Oh, okay.
I just brought up my Twitter.
I was gonna say like,
there's no preparation.
How long have you been planning this one?
How long have we been going?
About 30 minutes now.
So about 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I literally started planning this 10 minutes before the show started.
Sweet.
But with that, we are going to take a quick break, get some
right.
more awesome music from Horizon Zero Dawn in
Radical.
there. Maybe I will talk about it later. Probably won't, though, because I don't want to spoil things.
Please.
Okay, Nick, goodbye. Yeah, so stay tuned for some awesome Horizon Zero Dawn music and, of course, more storytelling on KBVR Corvallis.
I'm Joe Wolf, and these are the top stories in this week's issue of the Barometer. ASOSU denies athletics their proposed budget. All budget recommendations made by the Student Incidental Fees Committee, except for athletics, were approved by a joint session of the ASOSU House and Senate. The athletics budget, which is mainly used to subsidize student access to games, will be determined by a mediation committee made up of the SIFC and ASOSU. Beavers have babies, damn it! A growing number of students, faculty, and staff require on-campus childcare services, and the rally was held in the MU to highlight the need for more affordable options. Club sports. Like other more well-known athletes, the over 1,500 club sport participants must balance their sport with their academic success. Many students find a community in the less competitive, niche options club sports provide. International Student Community Team. The ISCT promotes inclusivity for international students by hosting events to connect both international and domestic students. Turning Point Bake Sale. Conservative student activists held a controversial bake sale protesting affirmative action, spurring conversations around racism and political speech on campus. We spoke to representatives from Turning Point and Lawrence Ross, an author and lecturer on campus racism. And finally, Hidden Hardships. A closer look at the human face of homelessness in Corvallis, what resources are available, and what more can be done to assist homeless students and community members. This issue of The Barrow and more is available on campus newsstands now and online at dailybarometer.com. For all of us here at Orange Media Network, I'm Joe Wolf. Thank you for listening.
Orange Media Network is taking a road trip to Seattle, Washington for the Pac-12 Women's Basketball Tournament. On March 3rd through the 5th, you can tune into 88.7 KBVR Corvallis or kbvr.com/listen to hear your Oregon State Beavers take on the rest of the Pac-12. After each game, you can visit orangemedianetwork.com for game recaps, video highlights, and much more. Don't miss the opportunity to hear the Oregon State women's basketball team make history in Seattle.
And we are back here on Pop Culture Paradise here on KBVR Corvallis.
Hello.
Yeah, let's see, what were we talking about before the break?
We were talking about video games and stories and stuff.
Stories and stuff and things.
Yeah.
I'm going to spoil The Last of Us.
Okay.
Because when we're talking stories and video games, The Last of Us. Oh my God.
It's hard to talk about without getting really sad. Because,
Tell you what, how about we do this? We talk about The Last of Us.
okay.
And then we can talk about like Crash Bandicoot or
Thank you.
Spyro or
Thank you.
afterwards.
I am down. I am always down to talk about Spyro. Let's do it.
Okay, Spyro's after though.
Okay, cool.
Because it's kind of a downward spiral.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Should let that sink in.
Have a nice show, Griffin.
Bye, Nick.
See myself out.
Well, it was me that made the pun. Okay, The Last of Us.
I think I'm infecting your brain, but
The Last of Us might be one of the greatest games. Is one of the greatest games of all time.
it is. Yeah.
Purely because of that story.
The story is fantastic, but also of how, in my mind, seamlessly it goes from cutscene to video to gameplay.
And it seems like the gameplay itself is just so fitting for the story as well.
It is, yeah. It really it matches everything about that game works in terms of like creating a vibe and like a atmosphere.
Yeah, like so I think we need to talk about when you're talking about The Last of Us, especially story-wise, you kind of break it into a few distinct chunks.
Right.
For me, the three chunks are the very beginning when Sarah dies.
Right.
Sarah dying. The second chunk is Joel meeting Ellie and the point where you're playing as Ellie trying to heal Joel.
Oh yeah, that whole I forgot about that part.
That was one of my favorite parts of the game.
So dark.
Yeah. And then the third chunk is the hospital.
Yeah.
And the very end of the
game. The very end. So I guess if we're venturing into spoiler territory, let's
we already
just
declared that we're spoiling the entire
let's
game.
jump in. Spoiler alert. When the sequence when you're running with Ellie, like carrying Ellie down the hallway, and he's like screaming, and I'm just like
everyone's trying to shoot you,
and
take you out,
and it's just like that whole sequence did things to like just tore me up, man. Like I was
when they said they were going to do the surgery on Ellie and she wasn't going to survive.
Yeah,
I was literally like, no,
nope.
I'm not letting this happen. You are all going down. I will take you all out if I have
exactly, and that's what happens.
Because I don't know about you, but I really related to Ellie in that game. Ellie's kind of just like her mentality towards everything. Like that's how I picture myself being to it.
That's funny. I picture myself as more like Joel. A little more.
We make a good crew.
Yeah. The kind of more jaded, very angry man, angry old man.
Yeah, like it was that, and then like the way that they. Oh my god, I can't talk about this without getting
we could
sad.
go off for a while about this game.
I want to talk about the really dark part,
Right.
with that guy and like how they had to resort to cannibalism and
Stranger danger. Yeah.
yeah, literally the definition of stranger danger. You basically help this guy,
Right.
Because you don't have a choice because you're both being attacked by a horde of zombies,
Right.
and then he tries to kill you and eat you.
Because that's just how it goes.
But he's not a zombie.
No.
Because that's just what happens.
Because sometimes the humans are worse than the zombies.
That's what the entire game is about.
Copyright.
Hey, I was under 6 seconds.
Yeah. Just barely. Anyway.
No, yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, it is. That whole...
Naughty Dog just hits it out of the park with stories.
I don't know how they do it. I guess has something to do with like taking their time or whatever.
It's definitely like a lot of game developers. I think they rush their games.
They do. I think that's
which is why I'm loving Horizon Zero Dawn because they didn't.
Right.
They gave that
Killzone
attention
3
to detail.
came out how long ago? Like
God, I don't even know.
2012, 2013?
Well, no, if you look at the path, this game had to have been, like, especially with some of the mechanics and stuff.
Yeah.
This game had to have been greenlit probably around 2011.
Okay. So,
Give or take.
Geez Louise, that's
2011, 2012. About the time that Killzone 3 came out.
better part of a decade.
But I mean, also Killzone Mercenary came out.
That's true.
Killzone Mercenary was a great game.
What was that for?
The PlayStation Vita.
Of course it was.
The Vita lives.
The Vita, dude. Did you get that song I sent you?
Yeah, I got it.
Vita, Vita, Vita by Vita.
Vita by Vita. I love that.
It's the dumbest song.
It really is.
I was so happy I found that though.
Part of me wants to play it, but I don't have it.
I think it's definitely FCC not allowed.
Oh, we're definitely not playing it then.
100% not.
Because we're not in safe harbor hours.
No, not even close.
I want there to be a game about radio DJs.
That'd be interesting.
Like they made a game about YouTubing.
Really?
It's literally called YouTuber's Life.
Oh, meh.
No, I want it to be like you have to like plan out your set and then play it, and then like an FCC non-clean song comes up.
Right.
And, like, you have to quickly get rid of it.
It's like what is it? I don't know. It's like Tetris, kind of.
Yeah, kind of Tetris-y.
Yeah.
Like it's all mini games.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Random game ideas with Griffin.
Write that down. No, none of you steal it, listeners.
This is copyrighted.
This is
not copyrighted.
patent pending. Eventually, maybe. No.
No. I mean, I have legit game ideas that I'm working on, but I don't actually like share any of those on air.
Yeah.
Purely because I don't want people to take them.
Yeah. I mean, I have stuff that I don't share with people because I like to keep it to myself.
Nick has secrets.
I have many secrets.
He is very dark.
I'm a wizard.
All right, let's see. I'm
a
looking at
hairy wizard.
games now. I'm trying to think what other like games have I played recently.
Since we allowed ourselves to not just stick to games because that's very limiting.
Go for it.
I guess a story, which is actually a true story, is the story of the Replacements.
Oh yeah,
the rock band. They're an 80s punk band who started out as kind of just like whatever power chord thrashy punk group, and then they grew into this alternative rock band that kind of almost sort of got famous. And every time they had a shot at becoming famous, they shot themselves in the foot. Something happened. Somebody would show up to, somebody got too drunk, and they, cussed on SNL.
Yeah,
or
falling out.
Yeah, or they fired their guitar player, and a bunch of fans left with them, and it's like it's just one of those things of like reading their biography, which is called, I think it's called Trouble Boys or something. Not a plug. It's just I really love that.
Yeah.
Really love that biography. And seeing where they come from and kind of like the really tough childhoods they all had, especially their guitarist. Cause I don't want to get too into it because it's very sad. But reading about that and seeing what happened to them, it's just like, you guys could have been so huge and so great.
But then just
And then
things
they-
didn't let him happen.
It just life happened, you know? Just,
yeah,
you know,
life happens.
and they never allowed themselves to be big, you know?
yeah. I mean, like you said earlier, it only happens if you allow it to happen.
Exactly.
No, as far as books, one book that I read that really sticks with me, there's a couple. One is called, oh my God, what's the name of it? I know it. Oh,
I can't read your mind, Griffin.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it hurts that I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I do. It's called, It's Kind of a Funny Story. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it.
Basically, I forget who wrote it, but the idea of it is this guy has depression, and he is suicidal.
Oh.
But he realizes it and checks himself into a mental hospital.
Okay.
He's about my age, about 17, 18.
Right.
And what happens is the juvenile, for lack of a better term, wing of the mental hospital is shut down for repairs. Oh. So he gets put in the adult one, and it's him, one other girl his age. It's just a bunch of adults and everyone there has some sort of mental problem.
I think I've heard of this.
Yeah, it was made into a movie too.
Yeah, I remember the movie.
I watched the movie and I read the book. I recommend that everybody reads the book.
Yeah.
I got to write about this book in my thesis back in high school.
Oh, cool.
I wrote a thesis about adolescence in books.
Very cool. Very cool.
And portrayal and stuff. But that's not the point. This book, oh my God, did it wreck me.
Right.
Because like every once in surprisingly a lot of songs and stuff like are just amazing, and they'll take me out.
Right.
Music will do it. Books will do it.
Right.
Movies will do it.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of movies have done it.
Yeah, man. Music.
Like, I will guarantee I'm probably going to cry during Logan.
Really?
Like just the way I see the story ending up. I haven't seen it yet. Came out today. The way I see the story ending up and just the amount of attachment I have to Wolverine's character.
Right.
Yeah, I'm probably going to cry during it.
Wow.
But back to kind of a funny story. It's a really touching story. It goes like at first, it's very much about him trying to like deal with this problem that he has, and it's very much because of stress from school and getting into college and stuff.
Right.
And he kind of finds his place with art, and people, which is kind of what I've done in a way. I mean, I very much express myself through my drawings and through music.
Yeah.
Especially because, I mean, I'm playing my guitar all the time.
Right.
But...
As you should be.
Oh, yeah, it's a guitar. But then as it goes, not quickly, but slowly evolves into the story of him realizing, because of his depression, that he is not on the right path that he's going down, that he needs to become an artist, that he needs to be out there with people. And like what people's true colors and all of that. It's an amazing book, and I recommend everyone goes read it. Goes and reads it.
Yeah, totally. Good to know. Kind of a funny story.
It's kind of a funny story.
Cool. Yeah, a good story. Actually, speaking of stories, I guess I'll jump into this guy. When I was younger, a song that really, really did me in because it really told this really interesting story was the story of, I know this is going to like totally put me out as like a total typical kid of that time, but was My Chemical Romance and their album, The Black Parade. Like, cause like, you know, in spite of, you know, some people, especially people who I would hang out with, would call it melodramatic. You know,
Yeah,
the
I can see
music,
that.
the music is melodramatic, and it's like,
very
yeah,
much so.
sure,
but it does it in a good way.
yeah, and you know, those tunes rock, man. Like,
Yeah.
I tell you what. Anyway, so yeah, and that album just kind of, it was one of the first albums that I would listen to all the way through and all the time, you know. And I would just go, wow, you know, every song is killer, and it tells this really cool story about this guy passing on into the afterlife, and it's like so cool. And it was just like, I had never heard any, I always thought of music as like cute little songs that are catchy and fun to sing along with. And that was the first time where I was like, oh, music can be more than that.
Yeah. Let's see. As far as music tracks, like and albums and stuff that really touched me, I gotta give a shout out to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Oh, I mean, obviously.
But if I have to single it down to one song, Blackbird by the Beatles.
Fantastic song.
That one gets me every time. It's one of my family's favorite. I learned to play it, and that was actually what got me into the Beatles. Was that song? But one medium we haven't talked about yet is TV.
TV.
Yeah,
Tricky one.
and it is kind of TV, but I do have to give a shout out to what Marvel is doing with their Netflix series.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
especially with Jessica Jones and Daredevil and Luke Cage. I guess actually I just named all three.
Yeah.
But Jessica Jones especially was my favorite. What they're doing there is really cool, because I love that they're telling these superhero stories, but they're telling them in realistic ways. I mean, they're kind of doing what the Dark Knight, the Batman Nolan trilogy did.
Yeah,
kind of, but a lot more grounded.
I mean, honestly, you're going to have more to say about this than I will, because I've only seen a couple episodes of Daredevil, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, go. Your homework this weekend is go home and watch Jessica Jones.
I'll try to squeeze that in with all my actual homework I have. You know, trying to graduate on time here, Griffin.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
You know, I'd like to be out by June, which is scary, but it's fine.
Ignoring that. Ignoring reality.
Ignoring the sadness. No, but yeah, I like, I don't know. I think we're in a really interesting place with TV, especially, well, actually, I think we're in a really interesting place with all media, but that's an entirely different discussion.
Yeah, that's next. That's another topic.
Yeah. But to focus on storytelling and TV, I think TV, people are finally starting to realize that the potential that TV has.
Yeah.
With storytelling, like with
you don't need something to be a
episodic
multi-season.
Yeah.
You can just do one season, tell
call
a story, and move on.
Call it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's what I love about that, about some of the newer shows, like Stranger Things. You know, like, yeah, they're doing another season, but season one felt so solid in how they wrote it, and it felt very complete.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some stuff that was left dangling, like Where's Barb, and but
that's just a setup for season 2.
Exactly. But
or I mean, if you watched the Grammys, I mean, you'd know.
Oh yeah, there's that whole thing. But anyway,
shout out to Jimmy Fallon.
But it was its own thing of like, you know, it very much felt like it could have just ended and would have been fine. You know, like, oh well.
Yeah, I want to end it with this one final like kind of topic point with as far as stories go.
Yeah.
Indie games.
Indie games. Oh,
specifically. I think with gaming, especially, indie games have the best opportunity to tell meaningful stories.
Absolutely.
As far as gaming goes.
Yeah, because they're
like we'll still get our Last of Us and our Horizons,
but those are few and far between.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're exclusives.
Exactly.
I can't remember off the top of my head the most recent AAA third-party game that had an extremely important, touching story.
Maybe BioShock Infinite.
And that no one knows what that story was really about.
I know, but I liked it.
I mean, it was good.
I come on, guys. It was
come on, think. Other games.
Okay.
Really, do you have anything for me?
I guess. I can see what you're doing here, Griffin, and it makes me mad because I want to prove you wrong.
But you are proving my point.
I know, and it hurts. I guess if I just had to throw one out there, I'll say Portal 2.
When was Portal 2 even released? I don't even remember.
2012, I think.
I'm looking this up.
2011, maybe 2012. I think
Let's see,
I was 15 or 16 at the time. I don't remember.
Google says 2011.
All right, 6 years ago.
So yeah, that kind of brings my point. And Portal 2 didn't even have that meaningful of a story.
I liked the story.
It was a good one though. Like I would give you that. But
yeah.
my point is, I can name 3 indie games off the top of my head right now that had extremely great stories and were released in the past couple years.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Go.
Gone Home. Re-released on PlayStation 4.
I haven't played
that.
it.
Dragon Cancer released
in
2015.
We are not talking about that.
2064 Read-Only Memories, which was released in December 2016.
Which is what we talked about.
We talked about
that. We talked about before.
Yeah.
I
did actually
Pop Culture Paradise.
I did end up actually playing it for a little bit, and it's a really cool story.
Okay.
It's like it takes San Francisco, makes it futuristic, throws in robots, and you kind of get along the lines of like, okay, what are robots good for in society?
Right.
It was a cool one.
I guess if I had to throw one out there, I'd say Cave Story.
I've not played Cave Story.
Ooh, you should play Cave Story.
Okay, give me the pitch.
Okay, so basically, you wake up in a cave, of all places.
What? Really? A cave for Cave Story?
And you have no idea where you are. And you constantly it cuts away to these transmissions from this scientist who's typing, where are you? I can't find you.
Okay.
And he's trying.
You know who you are.
You have no idea who you are.
So you have you don't know where you are and you have amnesia.
Exactly.
Pretty much the beginning of every video game.
Of most good video games, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you fight your way through the cave and you find this society of rabbit people.
Of rabbits.
And
any relation to the Raging Rabbits?
No. This is a good game, Griffin. This is a good game.
Rayman was good.
Yeah, Rayman is good, but the Rabbids, let's not talk about that.
Keep giving me a pitch.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
So you fight your way through the cave, and as you're fighting, you meet this society, and you've realized that all of their village has been taken away by this scientist who's looking for this one person whose name escapes me at the moment. And then it's your job to go rescue somebody who's taken away because they thought, oh, this person is the person we're looking for. And so it's your job to go rescue all these people and figure out just why you're in the cave, how you got there. Everyone calls you a surface dweller, so clearly you're not from the cave area. And it's just trying to solve the mystery.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right now.
It is a muy bueno game. Would recommend.
How long did it take you to go through it?
Took me a few weekends. I started playing it this past term, so.
Oh, hey, perfect. It's on the Vita. I'm good.
Oh my goodness.
I'll play it now.
Vita, Vita, Vita.
Viva la Vita.
Viva la Vita. Enough about the Vita. Anyway.
I will keep fighting for my Vita until it dies in its grave.
Okay. But yeah, and that's a really great game, great story. Would recommend.
Recommend to everyone?
Oh yeah. Highly recommend. You can find it on Steam or whatever. I'm not gonna promote it because I'm not legally allowed to do that. But I would highly recommend that you go
highly recommend this game.
Go out and play it. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm kind of going to think. I think we've covered most of the stories that we can possibly think of.
Yeah, I
mean, there's a bunch that I'm looking forward to, but none that have come out yet.
There's the obvious ones.
Detroit Become Human looks really cool.
I don't know what that is.
It's a PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, okay.
It's all about androids.
Oh.
And this futuristic Chicago, where basically you are the androids, and it's the same people that made it's a quantum.
Oh,
what's the last word?
I know what you're talking.
Quantum.
It's not Quantum Leap. That's a TV show.
Quantum Break's a different game. Quantum Mechanics. No.
Quantum something. Quantum Overdrive. No, yeah, but
Quantum Dream.
Quantum Dream.
I feel stupid.
I don't know.
No, it's the people that made Heavy Rain and all that.
Oh, okay.
Basically what it is you play as these different AI units, and it's all about the interactions. Like the androids have obviously become slaves in the society and so on and so forth.
Right.
And it's kind of like you are the one android that doesn't have a master and stuff. It's kind of cool. Looking forward to that. PlayStation exclusives just in general down the line like are looking awesome as far as stories goes.
PlayStation is having their heyday right now.
Last of Us Part 2.
Last of Us Part. Oh.
And like I can't even name a single Xbox exclusive coming. Minus Halo Wars 2.
The problem,
which I think is out.
Yeah, it is. The problem is that I don't play Xbox anymore, so I just don't pay attention to it.
I try to pay attention to these things. I can't name a single one other than Sea of Thieves.
Oh.
Which is literally a pirate game that's just going to bomb.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Damn.
Because it's like it's 4-person. It's four players. You're all on a pirate ship working together. Mm-hmm. Like I can see this working for 4 people in the same room.
Right.
As soon as you go further,
jeez,
good luck.
Okay.
But yeah. Legend of Zelda, that came out today.
Oh yeah, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, the Switch is out.
The Switch is out, everybody.
We've been going on for almost an entire hour, and we haven't mentioned the Switch. It's out today. Congratulations, Nintendo.
Yeah, good for you.
Can't wait to check it out.
Can't wait to not buy it, but I'm gonna think about it.
I have the game. I don't have the console.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
That really hurts.
No, it comes on Tuesday. I'll be good.
Yeah.
I can't wait though. Like on Wednesday for split screen, I'm just gonna be like sitting in a corner playing Zelda. Because it's portable.
One of my roommates texted me and said the guy in front of me in my lecture is playing Breath of the Wild right now.
Respected that guy.
Yeah, right.
That's just dedication.
Like, oh, I wish I could be you.
I mean, I'd probably be doing that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's about to. We're gonna wrap up the show with that.
Yay!
Thank you everybody for listening in today. Of course, Pop Culture Paradise on KBVR Corvallis every Friday at 2 p.m.
Radical.
This week we talked about storytelling. What will next week's topic be? I don't know. Feel free to tweet at me at GriffyDpad for topic ideas, news, any of that. I'm always willing to answer questions on the show if you send them, and I feel like Nick is giving me the stink eye.
No, I'm falling asleep. I'm very tired.
Well, I mean, it is the end of the week. Do you have any classes after this?
I do not.
Okay, go take a nap.
I am actually going to be covering somebody's show later tonight.
Go take a nap before the show.
I will.
Just go to the bullpen and sleep.
Yeah, I might actually do that.
But yeah, thank you all for watching, listening, whatever y'all are doing out there. Of course, have a wonderful Friday. If you have the Switch, go play it. And, oh my God, I want Zelda so badly. But yeah, I'm going to play you a couple more songs from Horizon Zero Dawn, kind of the theme of the music this week. And until next time, keep on keeping on. Bye, everybody.
Later.